Soviet soldiers huddle around a campfire in Afghanistan's mountains. 1979. They're staring into a pot of boiling water. You'd think they're making soup. Wrong. Inside the pot are bullets. Live ammunition. They're deliberately boiling their own rounds for hours, destroying primers, ruining cartridges. Why would soldiers sabotage their own ammunition? Because those bullets were about to be sold to merchants who'd sell them straight to the Mujahideen fighters, shooting Soviet troops. Soviet logistics in Afghanistan were rotten. Corruption everywhere. Supply lines a mess. Rations tasted like punishment. So soldiers traded with Afghan merchants for fresh bread, fruit, meat, anything edible. Problem? They had no money, but they had ammunition. Nobody counts every bullet in a war zone. Requisition, a little extra, trade it for food. Except those merchants were funneling Soviet ammo directly to Mujahideen resistance fighters using captured AKs. Same calibers, perfectly compatible. The Soviets couldn't hand over obviously fake ammunition. Merchants would notice. So they boiled bullets for 4 to 5 hours, trying to destroy primers without exploding cartridges. The ammo looked normal, felt normal. When Mujahideen loaded it, it would misfire. Click. Nothing. Maybe jam their rifles. Cost them firefights. Soviets get warm meals without arming enemies. Clever plan. Except it didn't work. Not even slightly. Modern ammunition is sealed tight. Boiling does absolutely nothing to 20th century primers. Vietnam. 10 years earlier. Colonel John Singlaub and SOG operatives found enemy ammo depots but couldn't blow them up without scattering rounds everywhere or haul away tons of ammunition. So Singlaub proposed Project Eldest Son. Take captured 7.62 by 39 rounds. Replace gunpowder with explosives, creating 250,000 psi instead of normal 45,000. Enough to turn AK rifles into hand grenades. Every sabotaged round had to be perfect. No marks, no scratches, no evidence of tampering. SOG sabotaged around 12,000 AK rounds, plus machine gun ammunition and mortar shells. Teams carried small bundles on missions, slipping sabotaged rounds into enemy caches. Not many. Just enough that 1 round per magazine might explode. Then came disinformation. Leaflets warning about low-quality Chinese weapons, radio broadcasts claiming brittle metal, fake studies about cracked bolts, make North Vietnamese doubt suppliers and fear their own equipment. It worked until a press leak exposed everything. Once enemies knew, the operation became useless. American Civil War. Even earlier, Confederate spy Thomas Courtney created coal torpedoes, hollow artillery shells recast to look like coal lumps, filled with gunpowder, sealed with wax and tar. Slip one into Union ship coal piles. Someone shovels it into a boiler. Boom. Steam engine tears itself apart. USS Chenango exploded during maiden voyage in 1864, killing 30 sailors. Greyhound suffered suspicious boiler explosion after 6 civilians were arrested for suspicious behavior. Coal torpedoes? Maybe. Steam engines exploded frequently anyway. These weapons don't just hurt enemies, they get inside heads. Once you wonder whether the next bullet, magazine, or shovel of coal might explode in your face, you stop trusting equipment. You hesitate. Second guess. In war, hesitation kills. That's the real weapon. Not the sabotaged round itself, but the doubt it creates. Confederate coal torpedoes worked. Project Eldest Son worked until exposed. Soviet boiling? Complete failure. Modern primers don't care about hot water. Soviets made bullet soup while Americans turned rifles into grenades, and Confederates exploded boilers. Subscribe for more military history's strangest tactics and dirtiest tricks. Comment which historical sabotage operation you want covered next. World War II resistance movements? Cold War espionage weapons? Modern improvised warfare? Let me know. From boiled bullets that accomplish nothing to exploding rifles that created paranoia to coal bombs that maybe sank ships, armies have always tried sabotaging enemy equipment. Sometimes it works brilliantly. Sometimes it's complete failure. But the most frightening battlefield weapon isn't always the rifle in your hands. It's the doubt in your head about whether it's safe to pull the trigger. See you next time.